Chapter 1. The day the ship appeared, the sky did not roar or burn. There were no alarms at first, no explosions, no streaks of fire tearing through the clouds. It simply arrived. One moment the sky above Earth was clear, and the next something vast and silent stood there, suspended in orbit like a second artificial moon. People noticed it in different ways. Some saw it first through telescopes. Others caught glimpses on their phones as social media began to flood with shaky videos and confused voices. Within minutes, every major news network across the world had shifted to emergency broadcasts. The object was massive, larger than any human-made structure ever launched into space. Its surface was smooth, metallic, reflecting sunlight in a way that made it almost glow. There were no visible weapons, no engines, no signs of movement. Just presence. Governments reacted quickly. Military forces were placed on high alert. Satellites were redirected to focus entirely on the unknown vessel. Fighter jets were launched, though they could not get close. At a certain distance, something invisible stopped them cold. Not a barrier they could see, but one they could feel. Attempts to communicate began immediately. Every language, every signal, every frequency known to humanity was broadcast toward the ship. There was no response. Hours passed. Then a full day. Fear slowly replaced curiosity. Speculation spread like wildfire. Some believed it was an alien invasion waiting to happen. Others thought it might be a test or even a message from a long-lost civilization. No one knew the truth. And then, exactly 24 hours after its arrival, the ship reacted. A pulse of light spread outward from its core. It was not blinding, not destructive, but it reached every corner of the planet in an instant. People everywhere froze as they felt something impossible. Their minds were touched. Images flooded into human consciousness. Not random, not chaotic. Clear, intentional. Worlds burning. Cities collapsing under skies filled with unfamiliar ships. Entire civilizations erased without mercy. Then something changed. The images shifted to Earth. Not destroyed, not yet. But threatened. Surrounded by shadows that had not arrived. It was not a warning. It was a demonstration. In the hours that followed, something even more extraordinary happened. Defense systems around the world began to change. Satellites updated themselves. Military networks received new protocols that no human had written. Radar systems expanded their range beyond anything previously possible. It was as if the ship had given Earth a new set of eyes. Scientists worked without sleep, trying to understand what was happening. Engineers found themselves staring at code that rewrote itself in real time. Artificial intelligence systems began predicting events before they occurred. No one had asked for this, but it was happening. And then came the realization that changed everything. This was not an attack. This was preparation. Something was coming. If this moment already has you hooked and you want to discover what threat forced a mysterious ship to upgrade Earth's defenses overnight, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The next chapter reveals the first test of this new power and what humanity is truly up against. The real test came sooner than anyone expected. 3 days after the ship appeared, the new defense systems detected something far beyond the edge of the solar system. At first, scientists believed it was a glitch. The readings were too precise, too structured to be natural. But as the data kept updating itself, the truth became impossible to ignore. Objects were approaching Earth, not one, not 10, hundreds. They moved in perfect formation, faster than anything humanity had ever recorded. Old detection systems would never have seen them in time. But the new protocols installed by the mysterious ship tracked every movement with terrifying accuracy. Global command centers activated instantly. Military leaders from every nation were connected through a unified network that had not existed a week earlier. There was no time for politics, no space for disagreement. For the first time in history, Earth acted as one. The approaching fleet did not slow down. It did not attempt communication, it did not hide. It was coming to conquer. Panic spread among civilians as news leaked despite government efforts to contain it. People filled the streets, staring up at the silent guardian hanging above the planet. The ship remained motionless as if waiting for something. Inside control rooms, operators watched as the new defense system began to respond on its own. Satellites shifted positions without human commands. Energy signatures formed around key points in orbit. Invisible lines of protection expanded outward, creating a shield that surrounded the planet. No one pressed a button. No one gave the order, and yet everything was happening exactly when it needed to. The first enemy vessel entered the outer defensive range. For a moment, nothing happened. Then it vanished. There was no explosion, no debris. It simply ceased to exist, as if erased from reality itself. Shock rippled through every command center on Earth. The second ship changed course instantly, attempting to evade whatever had just happened. It did not matter. The system anticipated the movement before it was completed. The second ship disappeared as well. Then the third, then the fourth. One by one, the incoming fleet was being neutralized before it could even understand what it was facing. But they adapted quickly. Their formation shifted, spreading out, probing for weaknesses. For the first time, the defense system hesitated. Not for long, just a fraction of a second. But it was enough to be noticed. A handful of enemy ships broke through the outer layer. They accelerated toward Earth, their surfaces glowing with energy that clearly signaled attack capability. Cities below prepared for impact. But before those ships could enter the atmosphere, something changed. The massive vessel above Earth moved. It was slow at first, almost unnoticeable, but then its surface began to glow. Lines of light spreading across it like veins awakening after a long sleep. The entire structure shifted, aligning itself directly with the incoming threat. And then it acted. A wave of energy expanded outward, not like a weapon, but like a command. Every hostile ship froze, not destroyed, not disabled, stopped, as if something far more powerful had taken control of the situation. Across the globe, billions of people watched in silence. The battle had ended before it truly began. But instead of relief, a new feeling began to spread: unease. Because it was now clear that the mysterious ship was not just protecting Earth. It was controlling the outcome. If this chapter made you realize that humanity might not be the one in charge of its own survival, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the final chapter, you will discover why this ship chose Earth and what it expects in return for saving it. Followed the halted fleet, but it was not the silence of victory. It was the silence of realization. Every screen across Earth showed the same impossible image. Hundreds of hostile ships frozen in space, locked in place by a force no human could control. For several long minutes, nothing changed. Then the ship above Earth began to glow again. This time, the light was different. It was softer, deeper, almost alive. The same presence people had felt on the first day returned, but stronger now. It did not just touch the mind, it filled it. Every human on Earth experienced it at once. A message not in words, but in meaning. You were given the means to defend. Now you will be judged by how you choose to use it. The message spread like a wave through billions of minds. Fear followed immediately after. Judgment implied something more than protection. It meant expectation. Images appeared again, clearer than before. Civilizations rising with the help of the same power now given to Earth. Worlds that once stood united, only to fall into internal conflict once the external threat was gone. Advanced defenses turned inward. Weapons meant to protect used to dominate. Each vision ended the same way: silence, extinction. Then the images shifted to Earth. Not the present, but possible futures. Cities thriving under a unified system. Technology eliminating hunger, conflict, and fear. Humanity expanding beyond its home world, not as conquerors, but as explorers. Then another future. The same power used to divide. Nations turning against each other, each seeking control over the alien technology. War spreading faster than ever before, amplified by abilities no one fully understood. The outcome was clear. Everything depended on choice. Back in orbit, the frozen fleet suddenly moved again, but not forward away. Slowly at first, then faster, as if retreat had become their only option. They did not fire, they did not resist. Whatever had stopped them had also made it clear they would not win. Within minutes, they were gone. Earth was safe, but no one celebrated, because the final part of the message had not yet come. The great ship above the planet began to change. Its massive structure shifted, light fading from its surface as if its purpose was complete. For the first time, it began to move away from Earth. Panic surged through global command. Questions flooded every system. Why was it leaving? What would happen next? Then the final message came. We do not protect, we prepare. The ship paused for a brief moment, as if allowing humanity to understand. You are no longer alone, and you are no longer untested. The light vanished, and with it the presence. The ship disappeared without a trace. What remained was everything it had given. The enhanced defense systems, the expanded awareness, the knowledge that something far greater existed beyond human understanding, but most importantly, the responsibility. In the days that followed, Earth changed. Not overnight, not perfectly, but undeniably. Nations began to cooperate in ways that once seemed impossible. Not out of trust, but out of necessity, because now they knew the next threat might not be stopped for them. Humanity had been given a chance. Whether it would survive the next test was entirely up to itself. If you enjoyed this story and want more powerful sci-fi narratives about humanity facing impossible choices and rising beyond them, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. More stories are coming that will challenge everything you think you know about the universe.